Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook Live again. Okay, this is Rick Berube, and we have a wonderful guest, real estate extraordinaire from the lovely state of Arizona in our Camelback office. Okay, Charles Hawn-Lowry. Well, welcome, Charles, to the show.
Thank you very much.
The studio audience goes crazy. Thank you very much. All right, so hey, I've been working with you for a couple years now, and I know you're also in Brian Buffini. You know, you doubled your business from a year ago. You're going to double your business this year, and I know that you're looking. Your ultimate goal is to be over 200,000 in income. Okay, this year you're at 7 million closed and pending. Another 4 in the pipeline. You're getting closer. Okay, so look at a lot of people in Arizona know who you are, Charles, but not in Nevada, in California. So take a minute, talk about who you are and how long you've been doing this. Give them a little, give them a little bio of you.
So I'm Charles Hawn-Lowry, and I first got licensed in 1997, and I worked for a home builder, Beazer Homes, for about 5 years doing new home sales. And then I wanted to have a life, because you can't, when you're a new home sales agent, you sold your soul. You're there all the time. And good job, but yeah, you don't have a life. And I wanted to have a life. So I transitioned to regular real estate in 2002, and I actually hated it at first. I hated it a lot. Everything about it seemed sleazy and unprofessional, and everybody's flying by the seat of their pants and making it up. And I was going to go back to new home sales. And then my broker at the time, he said, well, before you do that, I recommend you check out this guy, Brian Buffini, and see if you like his way of doing business. And I did. I went to one of his conferences, and everything that he talked about was exactly how I wanted to do business. And I'm in a room with thousands of other agents who were like-minded. And I realized, oh, there are a lot of people in the industry who strive to work at that higher level of professionalism. And so I stuck with it. And I've been doing it since then, except for I took about 3 years off, about 4 years ago or so, whatever, in that range. And I was a full-time dad for a little while. And so then coming back, I had the very humbling experience of realizing without the pipeline, you're a brand new agent again. So I had to, that's why I'm kind of been starting over. I get to start over though with all that previous experience, so that helps, But,
right. Yeah, I remember we started about a year after you were the full-time dad for a few years. We started about a year after that. You got back in, you joined the company, and then you've been just taking off since.
Yeah.
Now, the Brian Buffini, just so everybody understands, that's by referral only. You're working your sphere intensely. Tell them a little about some of the things you do to work your sphere, please.
Right. So it works really well with people like myself that have a very outgoing personality, very friendly, and connects well with people and likes to stay connected. But just simplify it. You just make sure that everybody knows that you're a real estate agent and that you would like to have them as clients. And then you're constantly reminding them there's a system in place for staying in touch with people. You categorize them by A's, which is most likely to refer you, or they have in the past, and B's, and C's and all that. And obviously your A's, you're going to stay in touch with more often and do more things for them than you would the C's. But it's all systemized for how often you call the people, whether it's once a month or once every 4 months or something. And then part of it, we do a monthly paper newsletter that goes out in the mail, and then a monthly email is part of that. And then we do these things called pop buys, where you show up at their house with a little gift. So my latest one is this aromatherapy shower spa thing, and really excited. These turned out awesome. But gonna go and hand these out. It has a little tagline on here: relax, we've got you and your referrals covered. And it's all essential oils that smells good. One is a eucalyptus. This one is, I think, lavender or something. But yeah. And then
whenever I see something like that today, I think it's hand sanitizer.
No, it makes your shower smell good. When you get in the shower, you do a couple spritzes, and it turns your shower into a spa.
Nice.
So yeah.
Relax, we got you covered. I love it. I love some of the sayings. Like I just wanted to pop by, and you have the popcorn and the all kinds of. I probably in my coaching. I probably have 3 agents that also do the Brian Buffini thing. And I have a bunch that do the Mike Ferry thing and a couple that do the Tom Ferry. So You can't be overcoached, right, Charles?
No, it's not possible. Yeah, I mean, it's the more the better, I think. Yeah,
And our
yep, yep.
coaching's a little different. You and I talk
It
more
is,
about
which is
absolute
why I like
specific.
it. Yeah, the two complement each other. Buffini has the system of these pop buys and whatnot, but I think with you, you're really focused on the action.
Yeah.
The what are you doing? And it's a little different. That is, the Buffini's kind of warm and fuzzy, and there is action, but you're really all about the action. You're more laser being focused on making those connections, the phone calls and whatnot, or door knocking, whatever it is, which I've done that too. Yeah, so I think they complement each other very well. The two different styles of coaching.
Yeah, we talk about thrive with the big five. Your prospecting goals for the next few weeks. Your, how many appointments you're going to go on, what kind of contracts you plan on writing, how many social media and where you're going to do that, and also if you're going to have any active open houses. That's pretty much all. Mine's a lot of accountability, and the other one is a lot of tools and so forth that you can use. And I think, like you said, together, they do complement each other. So that's great.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, good. What do you give an idea in your sphere of the people that you're working, your A, B, C's, and D's? How many people do you have in there? What's the total number of people in your sphere?
Good question. Let me look. I think there's 400 total in my sphere, and there you go. Manage relationships. See if it's there. Where is it? Of course, I should know.
Well, 400 is close enough. So don't worry about it. 400 is close enough.
All together. Yeah. So the bulk of them are C's, actually. I have 280 C's, and then the rest are A's and B's.
Okay. So, and you treat them slightly different, like your how much? Yeah, give us an idea what that means. So A's, you do what?
A's are more likely to get free lunches or dinners. More likely to get bigger, nicer gifts throughout the year. More time with me, more phone calls, more of those touches.
Yep.
Whereas with the C's, it's probably just a phone call twice a year type thing, and a note, personal note. Call, wish them a happy birthday, all those kind of things. A little bit less of a touch, but I still want to keep in touch with the C's because there's a chance, to get a referral there.
Sure.
It's just less likely because the A's are people who have referred me before, at least once and sometimes many times over. So they deserve, they're taking care of me. And so I want to make sure I'm taking care of them.
Absolutely. And what about the B's, like the in-betweens? What do you do for a typical B type?
So the B's are definitely getting my aromatherapy things here.
Yeah.
And the B's I'm working on. So the B's I'm their agent, I'm their guy. But they need some nudging to get them to refer me to other people. Not that they don't mind. They just need some reminding. They need more reminders and whatnot. So definitely, it's a lot more of the reminding stuff. It's not quite as deep as an A.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good that I'm their guy.
It sounds like A's kind of like your extended sales force. Like you don't. Yeah. Stay in touch with them, but they refer you and they're really, I wouldn't say aggressive, but close to aggressive about it. B's, if you stay in touch with them, they'll refer you. And C's are kind of like your, your minor league if you're in baseball. You're working them and they might make it and they might not. You never know.
Yeah. So I have a pending right now that closes next week. 1.7 million. Was a C. It was nice. A C. I stayed in touch, sent the notes and stayed in touch, genuinely liked the guy. He knows a ton of realtors, very successful. And then one day he said, Charles, I want to look at this house. And then we looked at another one, and then he bought one. So, nice. And then he'll have a condo, probably $700,000 condo to sell soon because we're closing next week on his house. So, and that was a C. And you just don't know. And it doesn't hurt anything to stay in touch with these people.
No, you do. Especially 400 it's a good size number, but it's also a manageable number too.
Yeah, I would like to grow it, and I'm curious. The millionaire real estate agent that Keller Williams I think, book, right? But they talk about having like thousands of people in your CRM. So yeah, I definitely want to grow it,
Good.
and I would love to get to the point where I have 100 A's,
Right.
That's really the goal,
Yeah.
is to get there.
I remember when I stopped selling real estate and went into coaching full time with Mike Ferry, I had about 600, almost 600 in my sphere, but that took me 12, 15 years to get there.
Wow.
Yeah.
But those are quality though. That sounds like they'd be quality at that point.
Yeah. And I had A, B, C's, and D's too, but for different reasons. My A's were, like you said, I talked to them quite often, probably once a month. And if I didn't talk to them once a month, I would make sure I reached out because a lot of them I would see around. My B's were every other month. Mm-hmm. Okay, my C's were once a quarter, and the D's D's didn't mean they didn't refer a lot. It just means like they were probably in sales as well or finance, so they knew what I was doing, and I only had to do touch base with them twice a year. So A, B, C, and D for me was frequency of contact, not necessarily quality of contact.
Oh yeah.
So they both work. You can do it either way.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so that's your sphere, and it sounds like you got that really not nailed down to a system. How about any other types of prospecting or where you get your business from? A farm or?
So when I first met you in your success series, you convinced me to try the cold calling. So I signed up for Red X and I called the expired listings, and that lasted all of a couple of weeks, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's not for me, but I tried it, and I'm a big believer in that, don't knock it till you try it. But door knocking, I do like the door knocking actually. Door knocking is kind of fun, and I'll do it like for Memorial Day. I'll get a whole bunch of American flags with my business card on them and walk through a neighborhood and just say, hey, whatever, I'm a realtor, here's American flag, whatever, you just make friends with people. And if you make a good solid connection with them, then you follow up with a note. And especially if they'll give you a phone number, if you make that kind of connection where you're getting a phone number or something, now they're added to your database and you're going to keep working on them. But some of them will be happy to take the American flag. I had one guy ask for like 5 American flags.
Well, and if you target it around your listings and sales, so you do farming activities around your listings and sales, that's completely helpful too.
Yeah. Yep. So I already went and met the neighbors around the 1.7 million one. Yeah.
That's great.
Like, hey, I just sold the house right there. He's getting ready to move in. And you have a few questions about the neighborhood, just little get to know people, a little soft opening there. And I want to keep following up with notes and that kind of thing.
Now, you mentioned putting them in your database and so forth. Have you checked out, are you currently using the new VAC 2.0?
I'm just trying to, so I have my database loaded into the VAC, but it's hard because through Buffini, they've got the whole CRM on there. And with my coach, we're kind of together, like the management of that.
Right.
So I just don't know the right way to sync it with the VAC, but the VAC is actually far more powerful than the Buffini system. But the Buffini system I need because my coach is talking to me. That's where everything is linked in, But I think the VAC is actually a much more powerful system.
Well, if you just were to, if you were just, like, let's say you use the neighborhood reports, right? You have everybody in there with their address. You could just download your whole list in there and just set them up on one or two things. Like, you can keep doing your coaching through your database that way, but you can also, set them up with newsletters, the neighborhood reports, and things like that. You could definitely do that.
Yeah. So, and that's something to learn and grow. The other thing, though, that I learned when I first came on to Berkshire, even with all my experience, I came into Berkshire, there's so much that you can do here. I mean, through Berkshire, it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant sometimes, where what's available. And I remember I was here about 6 weeks, and all of a sudden I realized one day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to sell something. Like I was learning about all these cool things, and I was so excited, and I realized, oh my gosh, I got to sell, and so I just stopped. I stopped learning about all the awesome new things that I could do, and I just started going out and making money. And that's why the VAC, I get a little scared sometimes because there's so much you can do. There's the List Hub Global and all this, and it's a lot. And I think you have to kind of just pick what you're going to focus on because you really got to make
exactly
sales.
Right.
I mean, and it is great, but you only have so much time in a day, and but once you get the nice thing, it's automated. I think a lot of it. Once you get it set up,
that's what I'm saying.
and then you don't have to do it anymore. And
No, you
the
only have to
more
do it
you can do
once.
that does that, the better.
If you set it up very detailed, you only have to do it once, and then you never have to worry about it because it'll take care of itself. That's what I'm talking
Right.
about. All right, cool. All right, so all right. I think people get a good idea of how you do your business. Now, what I'd like to ask, my favorite question to ask everybody is, if you were brand new or if you were somebody trying to get to the next level, what's the three most important pieces of advice you would give them?
I guess along with what I just said about drinking out of the fire hose thing, there's no one right way to do real estate for a real estate salesperson. Think about your own personality and what works for you. I know there's people that are introverted, they don't actually want to go and be with all the people. They do a lot better with the cold calling, and so think about your own personality style, what works for you. Are you the type that even wants to sit there and make aromatherapy things to hand out? A lot of people would say no way, and so don't do it. I like the people, so door knocking worked, but cold calling didn't. Even though they're the same, you're soliciting. It's a cold call solicit. The face to face worked better for me. So
Okay.
don't be afraid to try it, though. Try it until you find something that works. But the bottom line, you have to do something, though. You can't just sit in your house and wait for the phone to ring. It's not going to work. You have to be proactive. Even if you're standing out in the street corner with a big sign, whatever it is, you got to get out there and let people know that you're a realtor and you want to be their realtor.
Okay. All right. So look at everything, maybe try everything, but then pick what you're going to do. And for you, that face to face is very, very effective, and it's more comfortable for you. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So that's number one. What would be the second one on your list?
There's good days and bad days, and sometimes there's even more bad days than good days, and it doesn't matter. Every day, take a few steps in the right direction, because I think real estate is sort of like farming, and you're planting little seeds and then you're watering them and fertilizing them and they're growing. And with real estate, the time pays off. Every day that you do something, you're little planting seeds, and 5 years later, boom, it's almost on autopilot at a certain point. If you've done it, if you've been diligent on a consistent basis with getting to know people and staying in touch with people, and you've got it all, you're following your system, whatever your system is, you will have a thriving business, I think, within 5 years for sure. I think for most anybody who just sticks with it. But you need a system, and you need to be disciplined to stick with it, not just in the good times, but also in the bad times. When you're having a really bad day, or you're allowed, I guess, have a bad day every once in a while, but you got to keep going. You can't just sit back, because it won't work that way.
Okay, so here's how I'm going to describe that one. Build your momentum and then keep your momentum by continuing to do the same things.
Right.
Yeah. It's like if you want to get in shape for a marathon, you run. You don't talk about running. You don't watch people running. You run every single day, a little bit here, a lot there, a little bit here. But excuse me, you'll have good days. You'll have bad days. They're all necessary in the process.
Yeah, and you can jumpstart it. I mean, there's people. So I'm still a dad. I have kids, and it's, I can't be crazy. I guess I could be, but I don't want to be that crazy. But you could get up at 7 a.m. and start walking neighborhoods and making phone calls. I mean, you can be pretty hardcore, and you can make a couple $100,000 in your first year. Right?
Yeah,
people do it. It's just how much energy do you want to put into it, and how much focus. And you got to bring it too, your personality too. You got to bring that. You got to be on.
Okay, cool. All right. So how about a third one? Anything else you can think of as far as important to be successful in this business?
Budgeting.
Okay.
The money, you don't get paid every 2 weeks. So you have to be disciplined about when you get a paycheck. You realize you've got it budgeted out. You need a couple months reserves, because sometimes, even if you are producing a lot, there's a long escrow for whatever reason. You sell a house, the deal falls through, you sell it again, falls through, and you may not get paid when you thought you'd get paid in a month. You're not getting paid for a couple months now, So, and then the money fear can mess up your momentum. That'll start to hurt you. So, just be very good about not spending all your money, living on a budget, and making sure you have enough reserves to weather the ups and downs.
Okay. All right, cool, awesome. Any final thoughts you want to leave them before I do a quick commercial about Thursday night? Anything else you want to leave them with, Charles?
No, just you mentioned Buffini, Ferry, all these. Get out there and do it. Go to the real estate conferences, learn, get to know other people, other agents, and just keep going. But you gotta learn and get out there. And I think I'm a big believer in. I'm looking forward to this. Is there a Ferry interview? I think, is it today or tomorrow?
Next week.
Yeah, the 22nd or no, 26th. But yeah,
27th, I think it is. Yeah, Mike Ferry. He's doing a thing on business planning because we're a preferred, brokerage.
Right. But I'm still gonna do it. I do Buffini. You'd say Ferry is contract? No, I don't think so. They go together. So
yeah, you can pick
Williams system, all of it. Yeah, I'm a sponge. I like to absorb all of that, and I think it pays off ultimately.
Yeah, you hear different things, and you come up with your way of doing it in your own personality, and that's true. I agree with that. That's why my success series that I'm doing this week, I've already had 5 or 6 people sign up for my coaching, and it's free when you're with Berkshire Hathaway for my coaching.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Buffini's not free.
You pay for Buffini, you get our coaching for free, and and that's why my schedule is pretty much full almost all the time, and then I have another success series because a lot of people say they want accountability until you give it to them, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to join a gym and I want a trainer that's going to kick my butt until I have one, and then I don't want him anymore. Right?
Yeah.
But if your commitment's high enough, then you really do. All right, Charles. Thank you very much. But thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. But before I let everybody go, we have It's Breast Cancer. It's Breast Cancer Month, right? The pink month. Everybody knows that. Rocktober. And this Thursday night downtown in Las Vegas on Fremont Street, there it is, Rustafarian. I'm going to be doing a live set at the address is right on there. You can see it. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on, but the address is right there. I will put my glasses on. It's at 450 Fremont Street. It's actually the Denny's downtown. If you've ever seen it, it's a pretty cool one. 450 Fremont Street. They're donating 20% of the door and the food and everything, drinks and everything to breast cancer. Plus, we're having our event there. So if you have time and you're in Vegas, come on down, 450 Fremont Street. Okay, it's for a great event. We pretty much do this every year. First time on Fremont Street, though. Normally we have it in a parking lot at one of the offices, so this is kind of cool. Inside, live music. I've got my stuff all set to go. We're going to play there. And like Paul said, the studio audience goes crazy. Charles, once again, thank you very much, my man. Keep it rocking. Looking forward to talking to you soon. Everybody, we'll be doing this again on Thursday. All right? Make it a Rocktober for you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. All right.